I think Dan Quinn is a great coach. He needs to bring in the right offensive coordinator. We all know he can run a defense. We all know he can take a defense to the next level. We've seen this before. He did it for Atlanta. Atlanta's defense at one point was one of the better defenses in the league. Their front seven could get to the quarterback at will. There's no question this could be a great defense in Washington. They gave up 2 big pass rushers, 2 first-round talents. 2 of them. Young's probably going to be a free agent. We all know the contract that Mr. Sweat got in Chicago. Over $100 million. Very well deserved after this season.
Yeah, Carl, that you said it wasn't going to work.
But I do believe this is a great hire by the Commanders. I do. Now, he wasn't the first or the second or probably even the third. Where was Eric Bieniemy? Why didn't he get the job? Where is Eric Bieniemy going this year? Again, still didn't get an offer. And this is the problem right now in the NFL. You have a coach that's been bouncing around, who's taken really bad quarterbacks and made them into quality quarterbacks. And I don't think Sam Howell's a star. He's not. But he had a quality season. He almost threw 4,000 yards this year. He did have, I think he was 21 for 21. 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was like the less athletic and talented version of Josh Allen's rookie year. It was something like that. A lot of sacks, a lot of interceptions, but also a lot of passing yards, and still a good amount of upside that can be done with better coaching.
And the thing is, with the Mike Macdonald thing, I didn't think Mike Macdonald was going to Washington. I didn't think Ben Johnson was taking any of these jobs because it wasn't a job that he wanted to take because there was no great quarterbacks available. The best job that was available went to Jim Harbaugh. He went to the Chargers. He had Justin Herbert. That was the big job. That was the job that was everybody should have wanted this offseason. But it was no doubt going to Jim Harbaugh if he wanted to come to the NFL. That's where he wanted to be, and that's where they wanted to go. The fact that Bill Belichick was interviewed over there in Washington and he didn't get this job is ridiculous too. You need success over there in Washington. The last time you had success in Washington was when Gibbs was there. Do you know how long that is? That was in the 90s, in the late 80s. There has been no success over there in Washington. Poor coaching, poor ownership, poor GMs, poor quarterback play, pretty much poor.
They're basically the NFC version of the Raiders.
They're the Jets. They're an organization that just completely fails when they bring in coach after coach, GM after GM, and really now it's 2 owners. It's a problem. Dan Quinn, I'm not saying Dan Quinn can't fix this. He could fix this. He did it in Atlanta. But at the tail end of his coaching career over there in Atlanta, everything started to fall apart.
Yep, once they had all those injuries with those key defensive players, their defense was
not
the
Matt
same.
Ryan wasn't buying his game anymore. He wasn't buying his coaching. And that's a huge problem. Now, you're going to a team now that has the 2nd pick. You're going to draft a quarterback. Now you're asking Dan Quinn to be a part of searching for his and the organization's next quarterback. Now, Dan Quinn's a defensive coordinator. And what the hell does Dan Quinn know about great quarterback play? Besides Matt Ryan, and it wasn't Matt Ryan that was running that offense. It wasn't. It was Kyle Shanahan.
And then Steve Sarkisian, and then a bunch of others.
Yeah. And listen, Sarkisian was a very good coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, as you see what he did in college this past year. We understand success for Dan Quinn has been there. But can it be in the NFC East where and again, it's been run by the Eagles and the Cowboys? It's a huge problem right now for the Commanders. And that's why I thought that Bill Belichick would be the perfect guy. And that's why Atlanta made a mistake and Washington made a mistake. Because if you want success, you bring in the most successful coach that's been there. And by the way, the organization has had crazy personalities in their locker room. Don't you think you need a drill sergeant? Don't you think you need a military type of guy that could come in and wash all this garbage away?